Welcome in, Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we have the latest Seattle Seahawks news and rumors. We're talking about Jamal Adams, Shelby Harris, and also Zach Charbonnet. We'll get to all of that in just a matter of moments. Before we do, highly encourage you to subscribe to the channel. Our next milestone we're trying to reach is 38.5 thousand subscribers on the channel, a little less than 400 away from doing so. You may be saying, why should I subscribe to Seahawks Today? Well, not only do we bring you daily news and rumors segments, we do our live shows on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, and we also do watch parties throughout the season as well. And if the Seahawks make a signing, a move of some sorts, then we're the first to break down the move when it happens in real time here on the channel. Subscribe for free today. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. We'll get started with today's show. We begin with Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams, we did not hear a lot from in 2022 as he was injured week one and was out for the rest of the season. And Jamal Adams, we've been talking for a while about his comeback, about him getting ready for his return in 2023 to join a loaded secondary that includes not just Quandre Diggs, but the addition of Julian Love in that safety room, the number 5 overall pick Devin Witherspoon, Tariq Woolen, Kobe Bryant and company. There is reason to be optimistic about this secondary as potentially the best in the NFL coming back. But is there a spot for Jamal Adams? Bleacher Report is suggesting the Seahawks move on from Jamal Adams, stating this: Adams wasn't even that great in his last Pro Bowl campaign. He had 9.5 sacks, which was impressive, but failed to record an interception and allowed an opposing passer rating of 104.7 in coverage. Since arriving in Seattle, Adams has been a glorified linebacker who has neither lived up to his trade price nor his contract. Seattle might not get a big return for Adams following 2 serious injuries, but it could create $11 million in 2023 cap space while dumping the final 3 years of this particular financial situation there. So, more on Jamal Adams. Here's how the money works, okay, as far as this situation goes for Jamal. If they were to trade him post-June 1, now that time has come, there would be a dead cap hit of $7.1 million that he would count against the cap towards Seattle no matter what. Even if he's playing for another team, he still counts that much against the cap. Now, you would have a cap savings of $11 million, but you still got to take on that $11+ million. Coming off of that torn quad tendon and the other injuries that he's had, can't imagine you're going to get a whole lot out of Jamal Adams either. Now, we've seen him at minicamp, but he's not practicing at this point in time. But there is excitement within the organization about his return eventually when that day comes. Now, I'll say this. Just the way the money sets up for Jamal Adams and the Seattle Seahawks, I don't see Seattle wanting to take on a dead cap hit over $7 million. To me, that doesn't make financial sense to pay that guy that much to not play on your football team and go elsewhere. And I don't think you're going to get a whole lot on the trade market either. For me, it just doesn't make financial sense. You might as well give Jamal Adams one more shot and see if he's got something left in the tank, if he can stay healthy. And if not, well, that's why you got Julian Love, that he can fill in that spot and be just fine as your starting safety if Jamal Adams can't give it a go. You look at the starting safety depth chart for Seattle. Jamal Adams leading the way with Quandre Diggs there and Julian Love and Blunt and others. A very good safety room there for the Seahawks at this point in time. Should the Seahawks trade Jamal Adams? What do you think? Type T for trade, type K for keep. This is our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it. Get your votes in. Tell me what you think. T for trade, K for keep. Let me know in the comment section below. Shelby Harris, could he make his return to the Seattle Seahawks? SI's All Seahawks is suggesting that the Seahawks bring back the defensive end to the Seahawks roster in 2023. If you go back to the month of March when the Seahawks were clearing out cap room to try to be able to sign and bring in other players. They ultimately moved on from Shelby Harris, but he has remained a free agent to this point. Could we see a return in the cards for Harris in Seattle? Here's more from Corbin Smith of SI All Seahawks. Away from being a quality mentor for young players to learn from, Harris's return would instantly prop up a defensive line that needs another stout defender to help plug up gaps and disrupt the line of scrimmage. Set to turn 32 years old in August, the veteran still checks off both those boxes regardless of alignment, while offering pass rushing value, rotating with Jones, Jaron Reed, Miles Adams, and Morris at the 3 technique. Re-signing a steady stalwart like Harris to the team with a group that looks more athletic on paper seems like a no-brainer. And the bottom line is, when you look at where Seattle's at with this defensive line, they have a big problem on their hands. And they need to address this said problem. If they don't, then there's going to be a lot of issues that come with that for the Seahawks team. This has to be taken care of one way or the other. We've heard Pete Carroll say that he believes that this Seahawks team is not done addressing things this offseason, in particular at the defensive line, that they still have more work to do. And although Shelby Harris isn't the perfect solution necessarily with what you're looking for, it's better than nothing. And there is certainly a spot where Shelby Harris could fit in with this Seahawks team. You look at the depth chart right now. Brian Monet coming off injury. We're still waiting to see when exactly he's going to make his return. Young is there, obviously, and he's, no pun intended, a very young guy. We're waiting to see what he can bring to the table. Unproven, right? You got guys like Jaron Reed. I know there's excitement about Draymond Jones and bringing in Mario Edwards and such like that. But what you have now is not good enough as far as I'm concerned. Shelby Harris, you go back to March 14th. That's when he was released by the Seahawks as they were trying to avoid a cap hit of $12 million. They made the right call. They didn't want to pay him that money and wanted to spend money elsewhere. No one's arguing whether it was the right decision or not to move on from Shelby Harris. The Seahawks, with $7 million in cap space right now, remember, they still have to sign their rookies as well. So if Shelby Harris is going to come back, then he is going to make considerably less than what he did a season ago. But no one else has looked at Shelby Harris at this point. It seems like if they want him, they could probably go get him. Started 15 games last year. Was very important for this Seahawks defense in 2022. Let's see if they bring him back for one more go-round again. Should Seattle bring back Shelby Harris? What do you think? Tell me in the comments section. S for sign, P for pass. Should the Seahawks bring back Shelby Harris or not? Tell me what you think in the comments section. S for sign, P for pass. Today's show is brought to you by the exclusive sportsbook partner of Chat Sports, BetUS. If you go to chatsports.com/bet, enter the promo code CHAT120 or Seahawks125, you will get a 125% deposit bonus. Put $100 down, you get $125 to spend for free at chatsports.com/bet. With the NBA Finals going on, here are the current odds for the Finals MVP. The Joker at -250, Jimmy Butler at +200, Bam at +550, Jamal Murray at +3,500, and Gabe Vincent at +4,000. You can bet on that as well as the rest of the series. The NHL Stanley Cup Finals. You can also bet on some MLB. Maybe you want to put some bets on the MLS potentially. Whatever you're feeling, you can get your bets in now and get that 125% deposit bonus at chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Seahawks125 for more. ESPN NFL Analyst Mina Kimes, a known Seahawks fan, had some not-so-kind words to say when speaking to the Locked On Seahawks podcast about the draft pick of Zach Charbonnet, who the Seahawks selected in the second round. Here is what Mina had to say. How do you feel about the player, and how do you feel about the value and need? I really love the player. The value and the need, I thought, it didn't make a ton of sense to me, especially given some of the other holes on the roster, some of the other players that were available. It's not what I would have done or wished for the team in terms of maximizing the draft picks they had. Now, I understand where Mina is coming from. Don't get me wrong. But I totally disagree with Mina Kimes' logic here. The way that Seattle operates this offense, of what Shane Waldron and what Pete Carroll want to do, you have to have multiple running backs. And you have to have multiple high-quality running backs to make this system work. And we've seen the Seahawks over the years, time and time again, have really just gone through the backs. They've dealt with a lot of injuries. They've needed a lot of guys to be available. And I think to effectively do what this offense wants of establishing the run game and being a run-first team, you have to have multiple fresh young running backs. And that's why I think that Charbonnet and Walker can complement each other and get the most out of each other with a dynamic duo between the two. To me, it makes sense. I understand Seattle and other needs, but Charbonnet, I get why they felt like they didn't want to pass on it. Second-round pick by Seattle, number 52 overall. Started his career with the Michigan Wolverines from 2019 to 2020, and then ended his career with the UCLA Bruins, where he was a first-team All-American selection last year. The numbers were fantastic for Zach Charbonnet in 2022 with a little less than 1,400 yards, averaged 7 yards a carry, and 14 touchdowns. He was fantastic. So I'm excited about this running game. You run the ball to open up the play-action passing game and get the most out of Geno Smith in that regard. And I'm looking at this offense, and this offense is lethal. And Zach Charbonnet is going to be a key piece, a big part of why this offense is going to be a big success in 2023. Grade the pick of Zach Charbonnet by the Seahawks. Tell me what you think. Is Mina right or is Mina wrong on this? I still think it was a really good pick from Seattle. Tell me what you think in the comments section. A, B, C, D, or F. What you think of this pick by the Seahawks in the second round and go with Charbonnet. Let me know what you think. A, B, C, D, or F. Hit me up on social media, the Twitter as well as Instagram and Facebook at Tyler Jones Live. You can find me there, and I will see you next time right here on Seahawks Today.